Hello friends, welcome to Siddaganga IAS YouTube channel. In this video, we're going to discuss about polity, international relationship and economy of second week November current affairs. So let us delve into the topic. So let us see like what are the things are there in this current affairs. So if you go on visiting this current affairs, what are the topics are there? So India Infrastructure Project Development Fund Scheme, so self-reliant fund. So this is the first topic. The next one is India First Sovereign Green Bond Framework. So apart from that, million exports from India, detailed from APEDA. Interest-free banking system, this has been implemented in Pakistan. So why it is in news? Let us see to it. Next is International Monetary Fund to provide $4.5 billion loan for Bangladesh. Fodder-centric farmer produce organization. India to host no money for terror conference. United Nations Security Council, so CTC. So is heading this. We're going to look into this also. Next is BMAP, open source license model. So how this BMAP has started a new initiative. So global carbon budget 2022, Indian biological data center. It is in Haryana. We're going to discuss about it. So apart from that, electrical bond schemes amended. So then multimodal logistic park, Reliance Industry Limited in Chennai. Okay. Next, East Asia Summit, Sahel. POSCO renamed as Grid Controlled of India Limited. So apart from that, Sea Vigil 2022. These are the things which are there in news in second week of November current affairs. We have covered from Economic Times, so Business Standards as well as PIB, Hindu and Indian Express. So now let us see one by one. So what is there in the news? The first thing is India Infrastructure Project Development Fund Scheme. Okay, there is a scheme like this. So who will gonna add this scheme? So that is so self-reliant India fund. So this is a fund of 5,000 crores. So this comes under CB. Okay. So this has been registered under CB. So 10,000 corpus amount has been launched by the Indian government. Who has launched this? SRI fund means Indian government has launched. So it has been registered under CBE. Okay. So under Alternative Investment Fund. So to provide growth capital to MSME sector. MSME means micro, small and medium enterprise. So you have to understand about two things. One is mother fund and daughter fund. Now let us see what is mother fund and daughter fund. The mother fund is the SEBI fund that invests up to 20% of the overall corpus. 20% of the overall corpus. If you are starting a business, so like SEBI will going to invest 20% of the money. Remaining 80% will be taken from venture capitalists or private entities. So this is called as daughter fund. So one is mother fund and other one is daughter fund. This may be question in UPSC because UPSC will gonna concentrate for this type of data. Next is India's first sovereign green bonds framework. First green bond sovereign framework. So sovereign green bonds to allocate fund projects associated with climate adaptation and climate mitigation projects. Climate adaptation and climate mitigation means so like we could you might have seen in the last video like which we have done for environment. So we have discussed about what is climate adaptation and climate mitigation. So climate adaptation means like after effects. One is mitigation means before effect. So you might have understood what is after effects and before effects. If you have not understood what is adaptation and mitigation, you can go back to the videos which is in the playlist and you can go through that. So we have thoroughly explained what is adaptation and mitigation with examples. So this green bonds, okay, sovereign green bonds has been allocated for climate adaptation and climate mitigation. The holders of sovereign green bonds may also enjoy tax benefits. They're going to enjoy the tax benefits. So those investors having an interest in environment and climate conservation projects can buy these sovereign bonds. Whether this green sovereign bonds is new to us, no, green bonds are not new to us. It has been started in 2007 itself. Okay, it has been started in 2007 itself. Now let us see how these green bonds will gonna work. So it is just a bond. Okay, if you have seen the LIC bond, so if your parents has made a LIC bond, it is just like that. So there will be a draft copy. So that draft copy will be issued by government or corporation to generate funds. So they're gonna give the bond and you have to give money for them. So after some years, they will gonna give this money back to you. So principal also as well as interest also. Next is what are green bonds? What are green bonds means? Green bonds are financial instruments that generate proceeds for the investment in environmentally sustainable and climate suitable projects. So India's first sovereign green bonds framework. They have made a committee. So Green Finance Working Committee. So they have made a committee like this to validate. So to whom we have to give a fund, for which project we have to allocate this fund. So they made a committee under which department, means Department of Economic Affairs, under Department of Economic Affairs. This Department of Economic Affairs comes under Ministry of Finance. This you have to know in this topic. Next is millet exports from India, detailed plan for APEDA. Now you have to understand what is APEDA. APEDA is Agriculture and Processed Food Products Export Development Authority. Okay, so it is a Agriculture and Processed Food Products Export Development Authority. So the Union Ministry of Commerce through APEX, Agriculture Export Promotion Body, APEDA. So they are doing this. Okay, they are exporting the millets. And UN Assembly also mandated that 2023 as International Year of Millets. Okay, you could have noticed over here. So India exports millets products worth $34.32 million during 21-22. So that's the reason United Nations General Assembly declared 2023 as the International Year of Millets. Millets are highly varied group, small seeded grasses. So the tribe of this millets are called as Panicia. Okay, so you can notice over here, these are the different types of millets. One is foxtail millet, barnyard millet, little millet, kodo millet, finger millet. So apart from that, you can notice here pearl millet, jowar, and finger millet. So these are the millets you can notice here. So if you are from a different region, so if you are not understood what are these in English words, you can easily understand over here. We have put a chart over here. So pearl millet. So we belong to Karnataka. We're going to understand in Kannada. So that is pearl millet is sajje. So if you belong to Tamil Nadu, so it is called as kambu. So foxtail millet is navane in Tamil, tinai. So kodo millet is arka. Little millet is same at save. So barnyard millet is odalu. So sorghum millet is jola. Finger millet is ragi. So these are the topics you should understand. So like if you can relate, so in the Hindu newspaper, if they have mentioned about finger millet, so in your mother tongue, you have to understand what is finger millet has been called as. So it will gonna make easy to you to understand. So what is there in the article. Next, interest-free banking system. This interest-free banking system has been introduced in Pakistan. So according to Sharia law, what they say, so giving loans to someone or taking loans from someone is a sin. So that's the reason in Pakistan, or those who are following this Sharia laws, so they will not gonna lend the money for someone for interest. So that's the reason Pakistan has started this interest-free banking system. That is the overall view of this topic. Next is International Monetary Fund to provide $4.5 billion loan for Bangladesh. So through extended credit facility, extended fund facility, resilience and sustainable facility. So through these three different schemes, they are giving $4.5 billion for Bangladesh. So apart from Pakistan and Sri Lanka, as you already know that Pakistan and Sri Lanka is also on economic crisis. Apart from Pakistan and Sri Lanka, they are also giving for Bangladesh. So you have to know about IMF. How many member countries are there? As of now, 190 member countries are there. Where is the headquarters of the IMF has been located? It is located in Washington, DC. How much money does IMF lend? Around $707 billion, around $1 trillion they're going to lend. So where does IMF get its money? From its member countries. So most money comes from its members who contributed based on their size and economic position. How many people work for IMF? Around 2,900 members work for IMF. So who contributes the most to the IMF? Obviously, the stable economic countries. The stable economic countries are United States, Japan, France, Germany, Italy, and United Kingdom. So these are the countries which contribute more to the IMF. Next is fodder-centric farmer produce organization. So this is an FPO. So you might have noticed in your village that there will be an FPO, a dairy. So where it will gonna inculcate so many people, and there will be so much of transaction in that place. The same thing for what is farmer produce organization. So the implementing agency of this fodder-centric farmer produce organization is NDDB. NDDB means National Dairy Development Board. National Dairy Development Board. So a farmer producer organization is a legal entity formed by primary farm producer, is farmers, milk producers, fodder, horticulture producers, agriculture produce, fisheries, etc. Okay. So there'll be so many people over here. So, and they're going to interact and how to improve our agricultural system. And this will going to contribute a lot for our Indian economy. So a farmer producer organization can be producer company, a cooperative society, or any other legal form. So you can observe over here. So farmer producer organization. So why it has been set up? Because of success and sustainability. So what are the services and functions they will gonna give? So it's over here. And like what are the problems of Indian agriculture? So this farmer producers organization will gonna understand that problems and try to give solutions for all those things. So constraints and challenges of FPO. So what are the challenges for this farmer producers organization? You can notice over here. Benefits and impact of FPO. Okay, what are the benefits of setting up of this farmer producer organization? So all these things you can notice over here. You can like just put a pause and go through these slides. This will be very helpful for your mains perspective. So the overall, if you develop this farmer producer organization, it will definitely improve our economic development of a country. So next thing is for prelims, you have to understand what is National Dairy Development Board. So this National Dairy Development Board has been set up in 1965. So who is the founder of this one means Dr. Varghese Kurian. So whether it is a statutory body, yes, it is a statutory body. So like where it is, it has been located in Anand, Gujarat. There is a place called Anand in Gujarat. So it comes under the Ministry of Fisheries, Animal Husbandry and Dairy Farming. Next is subsidiaries to this NDDB are Mother Dairy, Indian Dairy Machinery Company Limited and Indian Immunologicals Limited. Like this, there are subsidiary to NDDB. Next is India to host No Money for Terror Conference. Okay, this is the third country which is hosting this organization means event. The first country to host this is No Money for Terror Conference is Paris. Second one is Australia. Third one is India. It has been held. It is going to be held in like New Delhi. Okay. So 75 countries will gonna participate in the event. This is the second major conference hosted by India this year. Okay. Earlier, it is hosted meeting of the United Nations Security Council, that is, as I said, UNSC CTC, Counter Terrorism Committee. Under UNSC, there is a committee called CTC, Counter Terrorism Committee. So they will gonna head this and they will gonna interact with all the countries and they will gonna come to a conclusion. So global trends of terrorism and terrorist financing, emerging technologies, role in terrorism financing, and importance of global cooperation and address related to challenges. Now, what are the challenges in front of all these countries to reduce the terrorist activities? So first is role of cryptocurrency in funding terrorist activities. We have to reduce this. Dark web and terrorist financing. Next is financial action task force and its role. So what is the role of financial action task force? Now we have to understand what is dark web and deep web, because most of the transactions which will gonna happen for terrorist activities will gonna happen in dark web and deep web. You're gonna understand what is surface web, dark web and deep web. So whatever the internet you are going through or surfing through is only 3% of the internet. 97% of the internet we couldn't see. So that is called as deep web and dark web. In surface web, we can go through Wikipedia, Twitter, Amazon, Yahoo, New York Times, and all the social media handles. So this is the surface web, what we are going through everyday life. Okay. Deep web is medical record, subscription information, financial record, scientific reports, legal documents. All these are there in deep web. Dark web, so onion sites, drug trafficking, political protest, hackers and firearm marketplaces. Okay, so like transaction of guns, okay, and other equipments, okay, harmful equipments will be done through dark web. So dark web originally used by the United States Department of Defense to undercover like anonymously and to take the data of some people anonymously. So this has been acted by some hackers and they used to implement this using a technology called onion routing. Okay, using this onion routing, they used to adopt this dark web and they used to do the legal and illegal businesses. It uses a technology called onion routing. This you have to understand. Apart from that, when users access a site through Tor, their information is routed through thousands of relay points that cover the user's tracks and make their browsing virtually impossible to trace. So this will be very impossible to trace. BMAP open source license model. So announced by National Payments Corporation of India, NPCI. Okay. So now we have to understand what is NPCA. Apart from, we have to understand what is UPI. So as everyone know what is NPCA and what is UPI. So we're gonna quickly go through this. At present, lot of banks do not have their own banking application. So and difficult for them to provide the benefits of UPI to the customer base. So that's the reason like BMAP or NPCA comes up with a new model called as license model. So that is what there in this news. So this has been developed by NPCI. That is UPI has been developed by NPCI. So National Payments Corporation of India, an umbrella organization for operating retail payments and settlement systems in India. So you might have gone through UPI like BMAP as well as Phone Pay, Google Pay, all these things comes under NPCI. Initiative of Reserve Bank of India and Indian Banks of Association under the provisions of Payment and Settlement Act 2007. So why it is in news? Okay, India has gone to an international arm, means like even people who are traveling for United Arab Emirates, that is Dubai, they can easily send the money to their home through digital payment, through NeoPay, okay, using this UPI. So that's the reason it is in news. You can easily make payments from different country, that is from UAE. You can see it over here, how it has been increasing. So like in 2022 Jan, there was 4,617 million of volume. Now in May, if you take the data of May, it is around 6,000. Okay, and they doing a transaction of almost 10 trillion. So this is the transaction they are doing. So global carbon budget. Okay, next is global carbon budget. So report released by Global Carbon Project, a group of scientists. A group of scientists has been released this project. So you can notice over here, it has been increasing constantly. So this carbon has been accumulating in the atmosphere constantly. If you notice over here, this carbon dioxide has been reduced few times when first oil crisis has been happened around 1980s. Next is second oil crisis. Next is dissolution of Soviet Union. Soviet Union means when the USSR has been split. Next is global financial crisis around 2008. Next is COVID-19 pandemic. So these are the time where carbon dioxide emission has been reduced. So apart from that, the carbon emission has been increasing steadily. Anthropogenic carbon emission, those are gas reserves, oil reserves, coal reserves, permafrost, soils, rivers and lakes, coast, surface sediments, organic carbon, marine biota, and dissolved inorganic carbon. Indian Biological Data Center. Okay, Indian Biological Data Center has been set up in Faridabad, Haryana. It has been set up in Hyderabad, Haryana. So on disaster recovery site in National Informatics Center. This National Informatics Center has been located in Bhubaneswar. Where it has been located means it has been located in Bhubaneswar. So why this Indian Biological Data Center? So why this Indian Biological Data Center means for deposition, storage, and annotation and sharing of biological data. So sharing of biological data, so which is of publicly funded life science and data generated by national level. Okay, they're gonna secure the national level data, so which are biologically very important. Next is sections of IBDC. So there are two sections as of now. Those two sections are Indian Nucleotide Data Archive and Indian Nucleotide Data Archive Controlled Access. So these are the two sections as of now in IBDC. Next is electoral bond schemes amended. So this has been in news. The reason is recently there were an election going on in Gujarat as well as Himachal Pradesh. That's the reason government decided to amend electoral bond schemes. Now let us understand what is this electoral bond scheme. So notified banks are chosen for electoral bond scheme. So notified banks are chosen. So right now SBI has been selected. Notified banks will issue electoral bonds. This electoral bonds will be issued by notified bank. The donor buys an electoral bond using check or digital payment. They're going to use check or digital payment. The donor gives the party his or choice the bond within the specified time frame. Within that specified time frame, so they have to give this amount to the party. The party deposits the bond in an account, the details of which are within the Electoral Commission. This data will be there in Electoral Commission. Okay, so this is what they are saying. Now, if you see it over here, so issued and purchased in multiples of rupees 1000, 10,000, 1 lakh, 10 lakh, and 1 crore. Okay, so this is the amount they can give to the parties. So available for purchase for a period of 10 days, each in the months of January, April, July, October, as mentioned by the Parliament or government. Okay, it has been registered under People Act. Okay, those are the political parties which have been registered under the People's Act 1951. They can take these donations through electoral bonds. Multimodal Logistic Park. So this multimodal logistic park has been established in Tamil Nadu, Chennai. This is what in news. So this comes under the PM Gati Shakti National Master Plan. So this is what is there in news. Okay. Next is East Asia Summit. So Vice President Jagdeep Dhankhar has been visited for this summit, means he is attending on behalf of Indian government for East Asia Summit. So what is new is ASEAN agrees in principle to admit East Timor. So there is a country called East Timor. So they agreed to take this East Timor into Asian countries. So recently Cambodia has been admitted in 1999. After 1999, so next country is East Timor. So they have not added till. Okay, so if it has been added, it will gonna become 11th member. So this is the place where East Timor is. So after Indonesia, it is a very small island. So half an island, half is land, half an island. So you can notice over here, Myanmar, Laos, Thailand, Cambodia, Vietnam, Malaysia, Singapore, Brunei, Indonesia, and Philippines. These are the 10 ASEAN countries. Apart from these 10 ASEAN countries, there's one more country called Papua New Guinea. So Papua New Guinea is observer status. Since from 1976, it has been given so observer status. Apart from that, East Timor, so likely to be accession, means they are going to include this maybe in 2023. This is what in news. Okay, about East Asia Summit. Next, a region called Sahel. So this Sahel region is in North Africa. Sahel region is in North Africa. Why it is in news? The reason is recently France ended military operation in this region. So they have ended the military operation in this region. So this is a transition zone. Transition zone means, so there are two types of climatic zones, that is Sahara as well as Savanna region. So it is a transition zone between Sahara and Savanna region. If you can see it over here, you can easily understand. So this is the Sahel region. So this is the Sahara Desert, and if you come this side, it will be a Savanna. Okay, Savanna grassland. POSCO renamed Grid Controller of India Limited. POSCO has changed its name. Simple thing. Why? The reason is there is a POSCO Act for crime against children. So that's the reason. So they have changed this POSCO name as Grid Controller of India Limited. Next is Sea Vigil. So this is a Navy exercise. Okay, coastal defense exercise after 26/11. So like they have alerted themselves and they are doing this exercise every year. So Vigil 2022, Sea Vigil 2022 by Indian Navy throughout the seashore. Okay, so this is what there in news. Okay, so if you like this video, keep sharing this video. Thank you for watching this video and having patience. Keep watching Siddaganga Academy IAS YouTube channel. Thank you so much.